Buongiorno, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about my most used fragrances in 2023. So I have 12 fragrances which I would consider my most reach for fragrances, and some are predictable if you're an old subscriber, but some I was actually shocked when I saw that these I used so much this year. So if you want to know my most used fragrances in 2023, then please keep on watching. But before we start, if you are new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Noura, and on this channel I mostly talk about fragrances. So if you are a fragrance lover, then please consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Also follow me on Instagram, where I post some exclusive content that I don't do here on YouTube. And without further ado, let's start. Now, before going through the fragrances that I've used most this year, this is part of my 2023 recap series. You will find in the description down below a playlist for all the episodes. So if you want to see my most used products, my best discoveries, everything regarding 2023 and what I've tested and tried during this year, then please check the playlist down below. Now let's start with the fragrances, and on number 12 I have here Spiritus D from Guerlain. Now you may say there is not a big dent on this fragrance, and you are absolutely right, but given the fact that I have this fragrance now for only 2 months, maybe a little bit more, but not even 3 months, that says a lot. This is one of the best vanilla fragrances on the market, hands down. It's soft and airy and elegant. If you know, Guerlain makes the best vanilla. If I have to choose one note that really distinguishes Guerlain as a perfume house, it would be definitely vanilla. And I would also recommend this fragrance even for those who are not a fan of vanilla, because this is not too sweet. You see, I ignored this fragrance for the longest time because I thought it will be, sugary sweet, double vanille, so it must be like extremely dense and sweet, and it's absolutely not. It has this quality vanilla that is not overly sweet. So we are not talking about baking vanilla. It's not too sugary. It's absolutely stunning, and highly recommend this fragrance. The only issue is the price tag. I have to mention that because the price tag of this fragrance is outrageous. But in my opinion, worth it, especially if you can get it on a discount somehow. Then definitely check this fragrance. If you are a vanilla lover or not, gorgeous vanilla fragrance. It was actually love at first sniff for me. I tested the fragrance on a sample and I immediately fell in love with it. It's absolutely stunning. On number 11 we have a Misure Blooming Bouquet. Now also you may say, oh, there is not like the biggest dent on this fragrance, and yes, you are right, but I did finish a travel size, it was a decant actually, that was already kind of used. I finished that and then proceeded with the bottle, and I love this fragrance, although it has terrible performance. Dior is making a lot of very light fragrances, and I don't mean light in the sense of soft and airy, but in the sense that extremely bad in performance. Rose and Roses is one example. This one, but the scent I love so much that I actually don't care if it's long lasting or not. It's a staple for me during spring and summer. It's soft and airy. It's very feminine and delicate. It has peony in the notes and rose. And it's one of the most feminine fragrances in my collection. Love the scent. And yeah, I always struggle recommending this fragrance because of the performance, but yeah, it is one of my most used fragrances. I love it. Number 10, we have Water Lily Sun from Erin. Again, this is actually a new fragrance in my collection, and you can see I've used it a lot. I got this one, it was already a little bit cold. So yeah, for the days where the sun was a little bit shining after the shower, I used it. Love the scent. It's so beautiful. As you can see, it has lily in the notes. It's kind of a soft, airy, floral green fragrance. And when I say green, it's in the most delicate, soft way possible. It's just so fresh. It reminds me of, you know, walking in a garden. You have the flowers, you have a little pond, and it's not overly hot. This is the image that I get with this fragrance. It's so, so, so beautiful. And I would say my second favorite from Erin, definitely. Love the scent. And I actually prefer it to the famous Mediterranean honeysuckle. I also love that one, but I prefer water lily sun to Mediterranean honeysuckle, maybe because of the neroli orange blossom situation. I don't know, but yeah, it's an underrated gem in my opinion from Erin. Next one is a staple in my collection. I have this fragrance now for quite a long time. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. This is the intense version. And yes, it had already a big dent in it. So it's not like I did this dent this year, but I kind of used it a lot for some reason this year. Maybe because I went more to the gym and I love to wear this to the gym. So yeah, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, you all know the fragrance. I definitely prefer the intense to the original one because it's an intense version. It has more of an aquatic feeling, a little bit more strong and not as floral as the original one. I have a video on light blue and all its sisters, I call them. So fragrances that give me the same feelings, that serves the same purpose. I will leave it linked down below. And I love almost all of them, but I always return to my light blue intense. It just fills the gap in my collection and it is a staple I will definitely repurchase over and over and over. It's also one of my oldest fragrances in my collection. I have actually a video on my oldest fragrances that I have. So the fragrances that withstood the test of time. I will leave it linked down below, and light blue was one of them. Next fragrance was quite shocking for me because I am not like obsessed with it, and it is Oolong Infini from Atelier Cologne. This fragrance is a tea fragrance. It's fresh, it's light, unisex, and not mind-blowing actually, but for some reason I love to wear again this one for the gym. I actually got this one out of my gym bag because yeah, for some reason I tried to alternate fragrances in my gym bag, but I always return to this one and light blue intense. Now I have to be totally honest, am I going to repurchase this fragrance? No, but because I have light blue intense, it's a good fragrance. It's not mind-blowing, I have to admit, but I used it a lot. So Oolong Infini. Next we have Chanel Chance Eau Vive. You all know I am a big fan of the Chance range. So I have Eau Tendre, I have Eau Fraiche, but I have to admit, when it comes to summer fragrances, this is my baby. I love Eau Vive. It's much brighter than the Eau Fraiche, so it has this blood orange, has grapefruit, so it's very, invigorating, which I love for summer. I also love Eau Fraiche, and I have also a comparison video between the original one and the intense, the new one, which I will leave a link down below. I love them both, but when it's very hot, this is my baby. This is the one I go to from the Chance range. Love this fragrance. Again, a fragrance that I would repurchase immediately in a heartbeat because it's very difficult to get a citrusy fragrance that is so invigorating, but at the same time has this, not a cologne vibe, has this elegance to it, which of course Chanel did with this one and also with the Eau Fraiche. So yeah, I will always have this fragrance in my collection. Love it. Another summer staple, and yes, spoiler alert, majority of the fragrances that I'm going to talk about are summer fresh fragrances because these are the ones that I use the most because I reapply them during the day to feel fresh because I use them after the shower. So every year, these are the fragrances that I mostly use. And if you think about it, fragrances that are very strong or are, you know, winter fragrances usually have a very good performance and are, you know, strong fragrances, so you don't use a lot of them. So that also may explain that. But as you can see, a lot of the fragrances that I've mentioned are for me as stable. I cannot live without them. And I am a citrus lover after all. So, Mandarin Basilic from Guerlain. I think I do not need to talk about this fragrance. You can see the dent. Of course, this is not the dent I did this year, but I used like this, I would say, from the fragrance. And this is the big format. Yeah, it's a 125 ml. So this part is a lot of the fragrance, and I talked a lot about this one. And again, a fresh fragrance that I cannot live without. This is my favorite citrusy fragrance, and I think it will forever be. If you never tried this fragrance, you should definitely do it, but in summer, because it's only when it's very hot that you will get why this fragrance is so gorgeous. It's aromatic because it has basil, but it's not masculine. Sometimes when we speak about citrusy aromatic fragrances, you get unisex, leaning masculine fragrances. This is not it. This is totally unisex with this beautiful Mandarin note. It's juicy, it's fresh, it's gorgeous. Just gorgeous. One of the best fragrances ever created, in my opinion. I love it and I need it in my collection. Next fragrance was quite a surprise for me because this is Moscow Mule from Julet Homme. Now, if you watched my last year and even I think the year before most used fragrances, it was always, you know, Superdose, not a perfume, Superdose from Julet Homme. This year, for some reason, I am grabbing more Moscow Mule, which I didn't really like the previous year, as this is, as you can see, the dent. I did layer it with not a perfume sometimes, but also I use it on its own. It has the base of not a perfume Superdose, but it's more complex. It has some citruses. It's just a step above not a perfume Superdose. I still love this fragrance, don't get me wrong, but yeah, for some reason this year this was my go-to when I want to feel clean and fresh. Next fragrance is this one. This is a Cologne for 711, a Remix Cologne, and I was debating if I should include it, but as you can see, I did use it a lot. This is not my favorite fragrance, and I don't think that I am going to repurchase it. It has a very specific purpose. For me, I wanted something very cheap, fresh, that I can throw in a purse, in the bathroom, whatever, where I go, and just spray it when it's extremely hot. And it did it. It did it. Is it my favorite fragrance? No. Am I going to repurchase it? I don't think so. But for what I am using it for, it was quite okay. Next fragrance, although I did like it when I bought it, but I did not realize how much I grabbed it until I made this video, and it is USMANTIS from L'Occitane. Now, this is an affordable brand, as you all know, and it's an USMANTIS fragrance. It's fruity, it has this apricot feeling, one of the most affordable USMANTIS fragrances. USMANTIS is a flower that has an apricot-y, fruity touch to it. And it is absolutely what this fragrance is. It's fresh, it's floral, it's feminine, it's happy. It's a very happy fragrance, and I usually used it after the shower. And also, it's not a fragrance that I have for a long time in my collection, so you can see the dent. I am really loving this fragrance. And also, it's one of the fragrances, when I did my declutter, I will leave that video down below. It was very fun. I did a 5-minute declutter video, and it did survive that declutter, although it's a fragrance that I use after the shower, and that says a lot. Second most used fragrance is a new release that I am totally obsessed with. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, again, but this is the flanker, summer vibes of this year. Can you see the bottles? This is so beautiful. Love, love, love this bottle and love the scent. This is more of a fruity take on the original DNA of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, so it has peach. I smell more nectarine. However, whatever it is, I don't care. It's fruity. It's like almost a green nectarine or peach, so it has this bite to it. It's so beautiful, and it's definitely a step up for the DNA of Light Blue. I'm so upset that this is a limited edition. You can still get it. Highly recommend it. Have a full review on it. Again, check the description. And I have to say, this is my favorite Light Blue, and that says a lot. I know you cannot see how much I use this fragrance, but I think I am almost here. So you can see I am absolutely loving this one. Highly recommend it. Get your hands on it if you love the DNA of Light Blue and you want a more fruity touch. Get yourself this flanker. It's gorgeous. Are you ready for my number one? It's Karl Lagerfeld Fleur de Thé. Now, yes, a fragrance, a totally random fragrance for a lot of you. No one talks about it. Oh, but I do love this fragrance as an after shower scent. I also have this one not very long in my collection. I honestly can't remember when I got it, but as you can see, I'm almost finished with the bottle. And I actually would repurchase the fragrance. Not to wear it for going out or something like that. I'm not going to lie to you. But for spraying a fragrance after the shower, especially during summer, this is the best. And after the shower scents are actually a category for me that is quite important. I need a fragrance that gives me a feel of fresh and cleanness after the shower. And I don't want a long-lasting fragrance because when I go out, I want to apply another one. And there are a lot of fragrances that I've used during the years and also now that I have in my shower for that purpose, but this one beat them all. So not expected, not a glamorous fragrance, but if you watched my recap of the previous years, my most used fragrances are usually the ones that I use after the shower during summer because I use them constantly. And that was it. These were the 12 fragrances that I used the most during this year. Tell me in the comments down below, what is your most used fragrance this year? Looking forward to see your comments down below. Hope you liked this video and you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel. Again, the playlist for all the episodes of my 2023 recap series you will find in the description down below. And in this series, I don't only cover fragrances, but also my makeup, skincare. So if you're curious about these, then please check the playlist and stay tuned for my upcoming videos. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time. Ciao.